Hi guys. Okay, this is going to be my Christmas update for foreign languages, and I kind of put this off. Unfortunately, what happened? I've been studying Chinese recently, and I was thinking of using World of Warcraft to kind of to practice Chinese and have fun with it. So that backfired on me, and I started out with the Chinese client, and that's all well and good, but it was an English speaking server, which was kind of not my fault because my account is tied to North America, so I'm only able to play on the servers that they let me play, unless I make a new account in Taiwan, which is doable, but I think I need to buy the game again. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm playing the game in the Chinese client on the American server, and unfortunately, there's some limitations when you use the Chinese client on the American server. There's a lot of gold sellers from China. And I guess I didn't realize this was a big thing on the Chinese servers, but if you check Reddit, it is. I knew it was a big thing on the American servers, but they try um, to get it out of the game. At least it's not. At least it's against the rules of the game to sell in-game items to players. But it's hard to enforce. They do their best. It's hard to enforce. Anyway, so with the Chinese client, there's a lot of limitations. You can't not participate in, I guess, world chat or a lot of things if you have the Chinese client. So that really, puts a damper on playing on a North American server. If it's not possible, I think you can still do guild chat and tells, but God knows how you're going to find a group if you can't use the world channels. And so, long story short, I ditched the client for the Chinese client, turned on the English client. Was thinking I'll just kind of multitask, have like a Chinese YouTube on the right, World of Warcraft on the left, different monitors, whatever. Do it that way. Maybe get some listening practice. Yeah, not so much. I mean, I did a little bit, but it's not. That's just it's a terrible way to study a language. You may have seen other videos recommending that if you like video games, maybe you can kind of multitask, get some listening practice in while you play your video games. I recommend quitting the video games or playing the video games completely in the foreign language. That's good, but otherwise, quit the video games. You need to have your mind on the language completely. um, yeah, I got into World of Warcraft. It was so fun. I haven't done that in a while, and it's kind of like I don't know. I guess I could totally see myself years down the road when if I ever retire, and if I need something to do, if I've got all this free time and nothing to do, and I could just play video games. I would love it. I mean, I could play video games and be so happy. But um, maybe I won't do that because I think I would rather spend my time studying foreign languages. It took transitioning back from the game into doing because they kind of if you go on YouTube, there's the activity of playing a video game, like the chemicals that it releases in your brain, versus doing an activity like studying a foreign language, which is more difficult by a far and doesn't release the same chemicals in your brain at all. It's yeah, it takes it. It's a trick. I mean, not too much of a trick. Obviously, anyone watching this channel studying foreign languages probably likes it, but if you're into video games and that's kind of a habit for you, well, making the transition it was challenging for me to get off that get off that World of Warcraft wagon and get back in the flow of things. It helped having the Chinese class because once a week at least I had to sit down, do my Chinese homework, and show up for class. It was painful. I didn't want to do it. I was like, forget this class. I need to play Warcraft. I'll learn languages later. Why did I sign up for this class? Yeah. So the class was good to kind of keep me in perspective like that, and keep me a little bit focused on languages and also my perspective on my own goals personally. Um, so that's why I didn't update, because the only update I had was, hey, I'm not studying. I'm playing Warcraft. Peace out, guys. um, yeah. So the Chinese class is going to end soon. We did our presentation last week, and I did a presentation on World of Warcraft in China because it's a big deal in China, and I thought nobody else would do a topic like that, and I don't think anyone ever has in our class. um, she's a nice teacher. I think she likes me generally. So the fact that I chose video games as opposed to maybe something more impressive, because China has so much to offer to talk about, I think she forgave me. Yeah. So this weekend, I'm going to be doing my last assignment. The assignment is actually pretty good. I don't remember the name, but we're watching a Chinese movie. She gave us a link for YouTube. It's on YouTube for free. It has English and Chinese subtitles on the YouTube video. The assignment is to find 30 new words, vocabulary words, write them down, whatever, and then write a summary of the movie and then submit that to her. That's a great assignment. That never had assignment like that in any foreign language class. That's like, anyone who's into immersion and self-studying, this is totally the type of thing that that gets you to learn the language. These kind of activities, you got to keep doing them, repeat them, doing them over and over and over and over again. But this is where it's at, and so I think this is great, and I think it's fun. So great homework assignment. Unfortunately, I don't like being forced to do anything, but I'm going to do it though. I will be happy to get done, and I think I will feel a little like I got a little bit out of it. Although the sad thing is I'm probably going to switch from Chinese to Korean and Japanese after this, after tomorrow. I'm not sure if there's class tomorrow or not, or if we just pass this in and we're done. It might be the last class tomorrow. But anyway, I'm basically putting Chinese on hold. They're always up for changing a little bit. If I might do a little something with Chinese, but not a priority. It was I'm glad I took the class, and I'm glad I studied Chinese. It's I'll probably get back into it later. I feel like with Korean and Chinese, I'm interested in both languages, and I could totally see myself going back and forth. And I think that's good. I am very interested in Chinese as a language. It's just over 1 billion people speak it. That's amazing. And I think everyone growing up, China is kind of on the radar somehow, somewhere. And so maybe it doesn't necessarily mean you want to learn the language, but it's on there. You might be thinking, oh, it's something to think about. Yeah. Okay, so for Japanese. So I'm getting back into Japanese, I think. And this weekend, one reason why I want to do that is Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV is published in Japanese, has Japanese servers. There's no difficulty getting onto the Japanese servers, doing this all in Japanese. I can totally do it, and I am doing it. I started it yesterday. It's also free. Final Fantasy XIV, the original game that came out and the first expansion, as of August of this year, is available for free. I did no idea, and I was willing to pay for it. But I'm so happy I don't have to pay for it. Gosh, I'm just thinking, when I play World of Warcraft, I actually played 2 characters at once to give myself a bit of an edge, because it's a challenging game, and it really rewards people when you team up with people. But teaming up with people is hard to do, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, yeah, so I guess I could do that with Final Fantasy XIV. Not going to do it, though. Totally just doing one player. It's plenty, it's enough. Started doing that yesterday, and I've kind of attempted it over the years a couple times. And I want to say the first time I tried to play Japanese video games we're going to go way, way back to when I was like kind of a beginner, maybe after 1 year studying. And I would say, if not impossible, close to just really, really, really difficult for me before you can read it's just the writing system. Hiragana, katakana, and kanji. I could barely read the hiragana. Katakana was like hard. Anyway, so that was a failure. And then later, I guess I got better, and it was maybe doable, but hard. And at the same time, I was in Japan, and I was thinking, is this real? Because when you're in Japan, and you're motivated to get your speaking, your Japanese level as good as possible, as fast as possible. That's just your big motivation. And you probably don't take a relaxed, for most people, at least for me. Some people, I guess it depends. Some people actually give up and just speak English and just Japanese when they have to. But my goal was to go as fast as possible. And my take on the video game was, this is probably not the best thing for me, considering I am highly motivated anyway, and I don't need to gamify my learning. I was totally motivated. I could sit down and suffer for 6 hours doing anything, whatever is the best thing to do. I would do it. Yeah. So I didn't do that. It was hard. Actually, it was very challenging at the time. I just going through the game, and I'm looking back. I wish I stuck with it. I wish I kind of maybe just did like 1 hour a day on it, and maybe did kind of like other activities like listening, reading, 1 hour of gaming, because I had a lot of time. I was really focused on Japanese. A big benefit, I think, with video games versus other methods of studying, the immersion methods, is that it's not all passive. There is definitely a lot of passive aspects to it. When you read your quest, there's a lot of background information for the quest to keep it interesting, and your vocabulary you're looking up just like reading a book, and that's completely passive. There's a lot of it you don't need to understand at all to accomplish the quest or the goals and to move on and progress. But there's a lot of stuff you definitely need to understand. Firstly, the game menus you got to understand, and then the quest goals you got to understand as well. So you kind of you really need to go through and figure stuff out. And if there's any puzzles and it's all the hints, everything's in Japanese, you got to deal with that. And you can't skip. You got to, just like real life, if you're talking, having a conversation or working for a company using a language, it's the same thing. Of course, I felt that this wasn't, in terms of taking like the JLPT, and a lot of things, I just felt like it wasn't the best way, but I think that, I think it would have been good. I just would have to kind of balance it with other things. Anyway, now I'm back in America. I am not, I'm sure I would like to improve Japanese, but at the same time, my goal right now is different, is to have fun, really. And getting better, making improvement is a bonus. It's a very important bonus. I do like to feel like the activity, my time spent every day on whatever I do, benefits me as a person and stuff like that. So improving my foreign languages is a big bonus. But if it just goes a little bit or kind of goes sideways, I benefit, it gets better, but kind of like a sideways direction or a diagonal direction, as opposed to a straight line towards where the ideal place to be is in a language. That's okay. And Final Fantasy XIV has kind of been on my bucket list. When I was a kid, I was a gamer. I like video games. I'm interested. This game has been on my to-do list for a while. I'd like to play it, not necessarily to the end game content, but just at least to really say like, yeah, I play this game. I know what it's like. World of Warcraft, I can definitely say that. I never completed World of Warcraft. I didn't. The end game content requires. It's really difficult because you have to. It's like a part-time job. You have to put in huge amounts of time, and you also have to coordinate with like 20, 30 people, maybe 10 people. Groups exist for a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of dedication. But to say that you played Warcraft, I don't think you need to do that content. But you need to do a lot. All the one player, a lot of the one player, and a lot of the 5-player content. If you can do that, then I think you can say you've done the game to a great extent. You understand how the game works, and maybe I'll probably do, if I did get to the highest level and I did do a lot of the 5-player content, I probably would just participate in some of the really easy, they call rating, large group content, just a little bit, just to get a taste. So I want to do the Final Fantasy XIV. I was doing that last night. It's going well. It's going well, except I did run into a problem. I had to do a quest. And this quest, I'm supposed to go find someone somewhere in this starter city that I'm in, which seems to be like just a regular city, just because I see so many other players. And I need to find this person. I guess this is like a level 1 player. I'm supposed to greet them energetically, friendly, and I think I'm supposed to lead them somewhere. I forget. It's not in front of me. And it's a little confusing. I'm not sure where to go, what to do, but the mini map on your screen, in the upper right-hand corner, it kind of gives you like hints, for your quests. It's like, arrows pointing you to just direction or whatever, and maybe like big flashing lights or circles or shapes or whatever. So I'm following my mini map. I did one quest really quickly and easy. I haven't turned it in. Stupid easy. And I'm just like, this is great. I'm gonna kill this game, and then I'm following the arrows, trying to do this other quest that seems a little bit more complicated, so I have to actually travel a bit further and figure something out. And I find my big blinking shape on my mini map, and I'm looking, it's a little confusing, right? And I'm staring at this dude. I'm like, okay, this is the quest guy. Here we go. Let's greet him. Let's do it. I chose, my character is like this giant. I want to be a tank, so I picked the biggest character that I could in my character creation. And I'm using all these. I don't know how to greet them. I'm like, I'm just a click on them. And like, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, okay, maybe they want me to. They're trying to teach me how to use the. I want to say emoticons, the actions that you can do, like waving, greeting, hugging. So I just start. I'm like, well, this is probably not a player, right? That's NPC because it's right there on the shiny symbol, and I start just doing all these things to this guy, and then he just turns around. Eventually, it took me a while to get the courage to do this. He's just sitting there. He's like, "Anata, dare." I'm like, "Oh." That is not an NPC response. That's not a quest person response. That's a human response of like, what the hell? And he wrote it out in proper Japanese, hiragana, which is how you're supposed to do. There's no anyway, the proper Japanese writing script. I just typed out in my romaji, gomen, and ran away. And I'm like, damn, that's embarrassing. Oh, that sucks. I'm like, oh, he's gonna remember me because I'm a big giant, and my name is Kremder. No, it's Kraem. It's Kraem because that's my name. I like when I do I don't know, somehow that was my name I got for playing EverQuest years and years ago. I just use it for all my games. Kraem, Kraem. At the time I was studying German, it kind of looks German. It's not German, but the sound system kind of looks a little Germanish, and I liked it. The computer actually generated it. Yeah. So, yeah, that was embarrassing. And I'm going on. I've determined though not to use the English client to figure this out. I'm not sure what would be different with the English client, but there's probably something that would click for me if I had it in English in front of me instead of Japanese. So instead, I'm on YouTube. I tried looking for the quest first, didn't find it. I'm just looking how to play Final Fantasy XIV, so we can explain all the quest symbols to me, and then I will go back and we'll see. But it's interesting, and yeah, I absolutely plan to fight my way through Final Fantasy XIV up to level 50 or whatever is all the free content using the Japanese client, and if anyone else is playing Final Fantasy XIV and wants to do it with me, please, let me know. Be happy to group up with you. I forget what server I'm on. Yeah, but just I'll put it in the comments anyway. So that's my my Japanese update, my Chinese update. Oh, additionally, this weekend I started doing my language partner routine again with Tandem, which I love. Japanese, I'm not. My Japanese is nowhere near my English. It never will be. But I can totally have a conversation. And in terms of like a language partner exchange, I'm very, very, very confident. No problem. Yeah, if I ever go to Japan, though, fitting in is not. Oh God, I would have to totally have to level up my Japanese, which it would kind of do on itself just being there. Because I can I can understand Japanese really well, so just being there would do that. But oh God, I did a video in Japanese actually just before this one, doing this same update or almost in Japanese. Oh, I talk slowly and I fumble for words, but anyway. So Tandem, I love it. I always look for women because women are much more. I think they like talking to foreign guys, so I take advantage of that and. I can almost always have a good conversation with them. It's good. You have some weird ones though, like this one lady. She's like, you have to do a video chat. Why? So I know you're not a scammer. What? I'm not. Okay. I'm like video. Usually people are too shy to do a video chat. I love video chats. But okay. So we did the video chat, and then she just talked about how she got scammed. Oh man, I don't know. That's sad. Unfortunately, that's scamming is real. As a guy, if you're a guy using Tandem, I've never been scammed, or nobody's ever asked me for money ever. The worst, I used to hide my age, and then one guy just kind of trolled me. Just said I was looking for young women or just some kind of sex fiend of some sort, which made me angry, and I just turned down my age, and then. Because I'm not hiding anything now. I was a little bit self-conscious about my age, but not too much. I was kind of like, I was worried that it would keep me from getting, people would not be interested in talking to me because they're like, oh, you're getting old. I'm young, which makes sense. But I don't know. It's better. I think it's better to show your age. Everyone should know. You shouldn't be hiding stuff. Yeah. Oh, and Discord. Refold recently joined the Discord community for Refold for Japanese and Korean. I joined the Japanese because I've been studying Japanese this weekend first, and I went on there. It's kind of fun. At the same time, though, a lot of people, I've noticed this, you can rank yourself with this Refold system. You rank yourself to show you how far, mine says beginner, even though I ranked myself for Japanese at a pretty high level because I'm totally conversational. I'm very confident having a conversation. I know I make mistakes. That's not for sure, but I don't know. Anyway, I guess it would be, I've never spoken to Matt, but it's kind of weird. If you want to show a certain level, you need to interview with Matt, and he needs to grade your Japanese, and then he will approve this level. I'd actually really like to meet him. So even if I guess it would be kind of embarrassing if I didn't pass. He's like, sorry, but you're just not good enough, dude. Oh, okay. I don't know. But I really respect his opinions on lots of anything language learning related, or even Japanese. So I really respect. So that would be kind of cool just to have a chance to talk to him anyway. And speak Jap. That would be fun. But it would be embarrassing if I didn't pass. And I've also noticed that on the forums there, a lot of people, they have they're very, I want to say, very strong opinions on what's good and what's not good for studying Japanese, and I guess a lot of egos. So, but everyone wants to study Japanese. Everyone likes Japanese, so we definitely, there's a lot we have in common. But I don't know. We'll see. I haven't completely committed to the Japanese community on there yet. We'll see. I kind of find myself being drawn back to them, though, just because there's really, if it's not this community, then where else am I going to go to chat about studying Japanese? I don't know. And I joined the Korean community on there as well. I suspect that's probably going to be, the Korean community is probably going to be more relaxed. I know it's smaller and more chill, and I feel like the people in the Korean studying community, a lot of us, most people are newer, as opposed with Japanese. There's a lot of people like me who've done it for just so many years, and you kind of get an ego a little bit and feel like what you're saying is, well, I'm personally am extremely open-minded to all ways to study a foreign language. I do have opinions, but I'm very open-minded. And I self-doubt myself. Although I have all this experience, I question myself constantly. Like, what's the best way, especially whenever I start a new language? Because like Korean, all the languages I study are all different than well, not all of them. Going from German to Spanish, that was pretty similar. So whatever I did in German, doing that to Spanish was kind of just taking the same routine and doing it again in Spanish completely. There was nothing special, but going from a European language to studying Japanese was a huge transition. And going from Japanese to studying Korean is another big transition. And likewise with Chinese, they're just so different. And so, well, how do I want to do it? What's best for me? And where am I at in my life? How much time do I have to dedicate to this? Because obviously the more you immerse, the better, but time's limited. Anyway, this video is way too long. If you made it to the end, I am surprised. I really appreciate it. If you leave a comment, that's great. If you don't, that's also good. But either way, thank you so much for watching, and good luck with your studies.